What is up, YouTube? Today we're gonna talk about my loadouts today in Warzone. Um, give a brief explanation on why I do each one of them and what their uses are, what the technicalities are for, and the different positions that you would use for them. Start things off is my first class is always my Warzone experimentals. So it's for guns that I want to try out in Warzone, guns that I think have a lot of capability, have a lot of utility, things like that. Just try them out for different kits. Second one is Rush 1. I'm going to be going through each and every class through detail, each gun with each equip. I'm not going to go through experimental because I'm still working on the MP5 on Cold War to max it out so we can have the most options to explain and the best kit that I can give you guys. To start things off, is the second actual kit is my rush class, which is my rush high alert. So my first, I use the Mac 10 as my primary with secondary as a knife. Allows me to run faster, things like that. And if I already have a loadout or I pick up a custom gun, if I kill someone, I grab this class and I'm able to still run Mac 10 and whatever gun that they gave me. For my Mac 10, I use the agency suppressor, 6.5 rifled, wire stock, salvo 53 round fast mag, and the field agent grip. Everyone knows what the Mac 10 loadouts are, so there's not really much to explain. I use the wire stock simply because sprint to fire time. I mean I could use the Raider stock for the sprint to fire time, but I wanted the wire stock because it still keeps mobility, but it doesn't reduce anything else. The salvo 53 round fast mag, self-explanatory. Don't really need to explain much. The only thing that's next to it is the Stenag 53 round drum. I don't really need to explain much to that. That's just the next closest equip that people would prefer. The field agent grip helps with horizontal and vertical recoil. 6.5 rifled. Basically, a lot of people prefer this or the Cavalry Lancer. I think it just varies. I like the 6.5 rifled. And the agency suppressor because, well, it's the agency suppressor. So, for my perks, you will see that every single class that I have, the third perk is going to be amped. That's because amped is probably the most crucial and most effective third perks in this game. The only next one that I would say is probably tune up, but I wouldn't really say anything else. I use double time because it is a rushing class, and high alert to basically to tell me which way that my enemies are. If there's multiple locations, if I'm getting aimed at from multiple ways, I can kind of react on a faster reaction time. If they're higher, lower, or if they're ground level, allows me to know which way that they're coming from or which way they're aiming for, so I can immediately find cover based on the direction that they're aiming from. You will also see the majority of my classes have Semtex and stun grenade. Stun is just an overall better tactical, simply because it's a lot easier to clear out an entire room of enemies that are stunned over flashed. Next one is the Rush Ghost. It's basically the same class, but with Ghost. Overkill 1 is usually my experimental overkill class, to which guns work best with what. There's things like that. I'm probably going to rename it to Overkill Test. The only difference between this Mac 10 is I use the SAS combat stock to help with the mobility and the it just allows me to move a lot faster while I'm aiming, so I can strive left and right. And a lot of people prefer no stock. I don't agree with that. I like this to have a little bit of to it, I guess you could say. I mean, it doesn't really do much. I could just go with no stock, but this just helps with shooting move speed. This helps with more of like the sprint fire speed, sprint fire time. Field engine grip, salvo 53. For my Type 63, I use the KGB Eliminator. No, I do not have the Groove Silencer yet. Still working on that. But from statistic-wise, I believe that the KGB Eliminator does have a little bit of an upper edge based on the control statistic onto it. The only close second to it is the Specialist Compensator, which helps with mobility and accuracy. 21.5 match grade. A lot of people use this one because it increases damage over range. I prefer the match grade. There's a lot of people that would use titanium or rapid fire based on their kit loadout. I've seen a lot of people use the strike team. The strike team is really, really good. I just want farther range. So I use the 21.5 match grade, the Specialist ergonomic grip, which helps with horizontal and vertical recoil. 38 round speed mag because a lot faster aim. Axial arms 3 times. I don't like any other scope. I think the axial arms 3 times really suits the tactical rifle genre really, really well. I think that it's the perfect scope for that class. Here I use EOD, Overkill, and Amped. EOD just because I don't want to die to grenades. I don't want to take maximum damage from claymores, bouncy betties, things like that. I would rather not. Overkill 2 is my long range class, which is the my AX50 and my MAC-10. On my AX50, I use the compensator. I do use the 32.0 factory barrel, as well as the variable zoom scope, Singard Arms Assassin, and the most underrated perk in the game, frangible wounding. Frangible wounding is whenever you shoot someone, it reduces their movement speed. Or this one is yeah, that's the healing. This one, it reduces their healing time, increases their healing time, so it takes them longer for them to recover. So if you're playing at a distance and you shoot someone, break their shield, hit their health, it takes them a lot longer to heal, which gives them more time for your teammates to rush up and just clean up the mess. MAC-10, basically the same thing with the but right here I use the Duster stock. The Duster stock is just for the slide speed because I needed more mobility. I could use the no stock. I just wanted the Duster stock because it doesn't reduce accuracy. Here I use cold-blooded because it is a long-range class. So you don't want to fall prey to things like thermal or NVG. I just feel like cold-blooded for this class just really suits it at its finest. And as you can see, I use heartbeat sensor because MAC-10 heartbeat sensor is for close quarters, close to medium range. Heartbeat sensor will help you clear out basically anyone that is early game, close quarters such as downtown, things like that. You can see if they're coming up the stairwell, anywhere near you, if they're above you, below you, based on how far out that they are. You can either determine if there's no tunnel underneath you, you know that they're above you. If they're right in front of you, it's just a lot. It's good for early game. I feel like heartbeat sensor kind of falls off mid to late game since because as soon as you pick up Ghost, it's free game. Heartbeat sensor is basically dead at that point. Overkill 3 is my primary overkill class. I always pick it up first. This is the first thing I get. MAC-10 with the SAS combat stock, basic. My DMR, I will be using the DMR until it gets nerfed. It's good. It's OP. It is beyond OP. For content wise and for competitive play, for tournament play, things like that, I prefer to keep my builds as competitive as possible. so I will always have top tier guns in my kits. For my DMR, I use the Agency Silencer, 20.8 Task Force, Axial Arms 3 times, Field Agent foregrip, and the Salvo 40 round fast mag. So the Agency Silencer, as everyone knows, sound suppression, damage range, does reduce the ADS and the AWS. Not that big of an issue. Task Force kind of does damage at range. So, and it helps with bullet velocity. While it does reduce vertical and horizontal recoil, your Field Agent grip kind of just nullifies that. Salve the Axial Arms 3 times. Basically, like I said, DMR, tactical rifle, best scope for the class. Salvo 40 round fast mag, it just helps reload a lot faster. Support Ghost. I'm going to talk about this one real quick. In my opinion, the PKM is probably one of the most underrated and most overpowered LMGs in the game. Simply because it does so much damage, has so little recoil. So if you reduce that recoil even more, you can laser someone without even a hesitation. For this class, I use the Monolithic Suppressor, 25.9 Heavy Barrel, Snatch Grip, Rubberized Grip Tape, and Frangible Disabling. Frangible Disabling is one of the most underrated perks in the game, as well as Frangible Wounding, like I explained earlier. Frangible Disabling is whenever you shoot someone, it reduces their speed. This is the one that reduces their movement speed. So Monolithic Suppressor helps with sound suppression and damage range. 25.9 Heavy Barrel does help with bullet velocity and damage range. This is for more of the aggressive playstyle of this class. This class is really heavy on positioning. So if you're in solos or duos, I do not recommend this class. If you're in trios to quads, I highly recommend you at least have one person be a support position, simply because you want to be able to control and maintain control positioning of your opponent. This gun, you can mow down people, you can put heavy suppression through walls into buildings, you can put suppression on the windows so that way your teammates can push up, and you can control the movements of the enemies based on where your positioning is. The 25.9 Heavy Barrel is for the more aggressive play style. It's for the more I'm going to push and suppress, versus if you were to use the Extended Barrel, which is more recoil control. It allows you to hold your aim a lot easier while you're shooting from a distance. I would prefer the Extended Barrel based on if you're a safer positioning support. The Heavy Barrel I would prefer if you're more of a pusher support. So if you're going for kills but you still need a support position character or loadout, then the Heavy Barrel is definitely your equip for the barrel that you want. Extended Barrel, longer range. Heavy Barrel, more aggression. Snatch Grip, because it does do recoil control and ADS speed, it does help a little bit. Recoil control is definitely a massive thing. The only thing that I would say that matches up to it is the Merc foregrip. The Merc foregrip does help with hipfire accuracy. I don't really see that much of an issue. It only increases accuracy and mobility by very little, but it does reduce range and control. Range and control are definitely one of the biggest things about this kit, and I would not change the Snatch Grip for anything. The Rubberized Grip Tape, again, recoil control. You want as much recoil control so you can pinpoint where you're going to hit them. The Rubberized Grip Tape definitely is one of the best equips for this gun. I was using the Renettis. I don't use this class very much. As you can tell, it has not been updated that much. But the Renettis can definitely go for the Diamatis or a knife based on your previous loadout. This is a ghost loadout, so this is a mid to late game kit. Cold Blitter for the same exact reason. You're going to be playing from a short to medium distance, so it prevents things like snipers from long range picking you off with thermals. For my ghost class, this is your typical DMR, same setup as I said. The 20.8 Task Force, there's not much really to explain. It's basically the same. It's a replica of the same exact thing from my my Overkill 3.
Now, I'm going to explain to these classes. I have a strong belief that tactical shields do have a position in in Warzone. If I'm not doing that much, or I am, if I've been revived multiple times because I've been downed, or I'm not performing at my best, and I've been bought back 2 to 3 times, maybe even once, I will pick up the riot shield class from a loadout, simply because if I notice that is if it is a high tier, lobby, um, people love to shoot first thing that moves. So I picked the brightest color, which is the Deridery. I think that's how you say it. Skin for it because it's bright pink and white. It attracts attention. People will shoot first thing that moves all the time. Um, so what I will do is I will use this. I will use this class, and I will walk in the open with the right shield in order to gain knowledge based on my opponent's positioning for my team. If it's 2 to 3 teammates, I will have them ping based on where the bullets are coming from, and I will be able to pinpoint where they are, and we'll be able to set up our strategy accordingly. So from there, I have the DMR as a secondary. Um, it is a it is not the same DMR. Here, I put 16.3 titanium because this is a push-up class. What I will do is I will get, if say, for example, we're at farmland, and I come up on a building and I see that there are enemies inside the window, I will face where the window is, and I will start slowly pushing up while while my allies are positioning themselves to be able to react based on if they're going to push outside in order to push me. They will continue to fire at me, not doing damage to the shield. And then as soon as I notice that they start pushing to the outside, I will position myself with the DMR. And because it is the titanium, it does increase fire rate. So I will be able to react a lot faster, down a lot faster, be able to get a lot more rounds of my enemies as well. Um, Save as lethal as tactical. EOD, because this is a riot shield class, I don't want to die from as easily from explosives. Um, then my bullet sponge 2 class is basically the same exact thing, except I use the R9, and this is if we drop in close quarters and there are multiple enemies around, such as airport, inside airport, um, storage town, superstore, things like that. If we can predict where the circle is going to land, I will pick this loadout, and I will become a bullet sponge in close quarters, and we will pick up the dub from there. I do use the EHV throwing knife simply because it does have a cool electronic skin, but the actuality purposes for it is one throwing knife breaks an entire shield. So if you can throwing knife, go to R9 because it does have the dragon's breath. This is the R9 setup, which is the choke, forge tack sentry, 5 milliwatt laser, dragon's breath rounds, and the stippled grip tape. Throwing knife, and then R9 instantly, and they should be down without a hassle. You should have no worries at all with them reacting too fast. So those are my current loadouts. Going to like and subscribe. Comment what your favorite loadout is, and maybe I will feature in one of my videos, and I'll give it a test out, and I'll put up some gameplay with it. Until next time, I'll see y'all later.